Now then, those wildcat postal strikes that there have already been across England have already caused problems for many. At Bristol University, students' loan payments and information about courses and accommodation have been delayed. Well, Owen Peachey is president of the Students' Union there and is in our Bristol newsroom. And also here to discuss the postal action, the potential postal action next week, is Chris Dawson, who's one of many eBay sellers whose businesses have been affected by the postal strike. Let's start with you, Chris. You've had wildcat action, you've got more national action potentially next week, and Christmas is coming. How do you cope?
Well, let me put it into context. As a business, I've had 4 months to plan, and I've already been looking at alternatives to Royal Mail, and eBay themselves have also been behind the scenes negotiating contracts to help businesses and also consumers to make sure the goods can get from door to door. But there's no doubt it does have an effect on the business, and also obviously on my bottom line. It's going to cost me more to get goods to my customers, but the goods will be getting there.
All right, let's talk to Owen in Bristol. Owen, just give us a run through of how the strike action's been affecting you.
Well, I mean, obviously this is a very busy time of year regarding universities. There's a lot of new students coming to university and a lot of information going out to them. So information about their courses and registration and information about their accommodation has been sent out through September, and the local postal strikes have seriously affected that. Sometimes people not getting the necessary forms back in time to register their accommodation and indeed register for their course. That's been a problem. And obviously as well, a lot of students will order books online at the start of the year. We have 18,000 students here at Bristol University, and if they all order a book each, that's a lot of postal traffic coming off the internet, which needs to be delivered to Bristol.
Chris, back to you. Your business, I mean, you're completely reliant on the money you make through eBay. How badly do you think this is going to potentially affect you in the next few weeks if this strike really takes off nationally? And also, do you have any sympathy at all with the postal workers who are striking?
As far as my business goes, my main concern is to make sure that customers, when they order goods, actually get those goods. And the biggest impact is they will get the goods, but it may, with an alternative carrier, take 2 or 3 days to get those goods to them. So long as customers just bear with us for a couple of days extra, carry on buying, and your Christmas presents will arrive. For myself as a business, there is a cost, because it will actually cost me more personally to get those goods to the customer. And as far as Royal Mail goes, I would just like to see the Royal Mail and the CW sit down and sort out their differences and actually get on with providing a service. Let's not forget, the country is still officially in recession. Times are tough for everyone, and although I appreciate they may have problems with between the unions and Royal Mail, I think it's time to actually sit down and get over them and actually get on with providing a service for businesses and consumers.
Owen, would you echo that, or do you have sympathy with the workers?
I mean, obviously, there's a certain amount of sympathy towards them as a trade union. I think there needs to be a bit more clarity from their management's end regarding Royal Mail and its future. But I would certainly echo those sentiments. Times are tough. Many people are losing their jobs. There are financial problems, and having the country's postal service grind to a halt would be, devastating for the entire country.
And as far as you're concerned, Owen, I mean, are there any alternatives to using Royal Mail? Other businesses are looking for alternatives now.
Thankfully, a lot of communication in higher education is via the internet and via the web at the moment. But from where we're sitting as students, a lot of people's loan information comes through on the mail. A lot of books come through the post, through the mail, and so there really aren't many alternatives to the status quo.
And Chris, what about you? I mean, because this is one of the fears for Royal Mail, is that long term they're going to lose contracts, big corporations, and then smaller contracts too from people like yourself.
I have to be honest, if a business like myself goes and finds an alternative, it's very unlikely that the day the strikes stop we'll instantly go back to using Royal Mail. It is going to cost Royal Mail in the long term, and a lot of businesses may choose never to come back to Royal Mail. And
even though they are cheaper?
Even though they're cheaper, if you've got a service and it's a reliable service and you've built those costs into your business, why go back to another business who's not only just told you to ransom, but may do the same thing in another 2 or 3 months' time, until the strikes are well and truly over and we know that Royal Mail aren't going to go on strike again? businesses need to have contingency plans, and they will use those contingencies.
All right. Well, Chris Dawson, good to talk to you, and also Owen Peachy in Bristol. Many thanks to both of you.
Thank you.